okay, so this we meant to do at the top of the show, but this was some late breaking. And so we're going to have to go to Twitter for this because we didn't have time to make formal exhibits out of this, since this is happening right now. And this is a wonderful, wonderful thing to see. Like we said at the top, you can't call it a silver lining because there is no silver lining to what's happening now. It's a world historic atrocity what's happening right now. So I wouldn't say this is a silver lining, but what I would say is that it is good to see this expression of humanity, especially here from Jewish Voice for Peace. So happening right now, hundreds of American Jews are holding a sit-in at Congress. Like I said, there were thousands outside, according to what I've seen. And we won't leave until Congress calls for a ceasefire in Gaza. As thousands of U.S. Jews protest outside, over 350 are inside, including 24 rabbis holding prayerful resistance. Let's take a look at the audio here. Ceasefire now, chant going on inside the halls. We are here to say not in our names and never again, and will continue our civil disobedience until Congress calls for a ceasefire in Gaza or until they force us to leave. Ceasefire is the first step to stop the ongoing genocide. Ceasefire is the first step to stop the ongoing genocide by the Israeli military of the over 2 million Palestinians besieged in Gaza, unable to leave. Here they are. Great sight to see. In the past week, over 3,000 Palestinians, including 1,000 children, were murdered by Israeli and U.S. bombs. Over 1 million people are displaced. We have the power to stop this violence. Let's take a look at that. So they have a sit-in here. What we know from past Israeli state atrocities against Palestinians is that the bombs only stop once there is a sufficient mass outcry from the international community. It's on us to build that outcry as fast as we possibly can.
God bless them.
God bless them. Sorry, just kind of improvising here, folks. We stand for justice and dignity of all people. The only way to ensure that for Palestinians is to demand a ceasefire now, end the genocide on Gaza. So, yes, I hope they don't leave, and it's great that they are there. Jewish Voice for Peace, really, really important that Jewish groups speak up whenever they can. I mean, that makes a very, very powerful
what are they
statement.
going to do? Call them anti-Semites?
Exactly.
I mean, they will. They'll call them self-hating Jews.
Self-hating Jews, right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we feel extra responsible when it comes to just, speaking out on this, because it is super important. And it's just great to see, and we'll see how long they keep that going, and if they force them out. Like, what are you going to do? Force them to leave?
Right.
What are the optics of that?
This is the only way to deal with these evil psychopaths. That's it. I mean, you have to build this kind of public pressure. They're right, and their theory of the case is right. They have to build that pressure as quickly as possible to save these people. That's why I said at the top of the show, when our very generous donor was making a joke, half a joke, like, in other words, don't exploit the situation. He was basically saying, yeah, that's not why we're covering it like this. We're covering it like this because it would feel wrong to really cover anything else. We're not going to cover no fucking Ms. Marvel box office right now.
Right. Exactly.
I'm sorry, man. Like, I wouldn't even be able to get my heart in that.
Right.
These people are being fucking systematically murdered. Like, if we don't use our platform for that, why do we have one?
Exactly. I mean, you just you have no choice in a situation like this. We didn't even really want to do the speaker shit. We just felt like that was big enough news. We kind of had to. But yeah, I mean, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Who cares about any of that? Who cares about the presidential race? Who cares about, any of that? This is really all there is to talk about right now. And I certainly feel like part of the reason this is where it is, not to have an inflated view of, what was possible in terms of nipping this in the bud before it got here. But part of the reason why it got here is certainly because people were lulled into thinking that there was really nothing that can be done. That's what Norm Finkelstein said on the Jimmy Dore show during that interview. He said, for the longest time, I just kind of fell into a despair. And I don't even think that despair is irrational, because it probably is logical when you think about it. What is going to happen here?
Right.
But at the same time, when this is going on, like there's just, you have to do what you can, period.
Please clap.